now. All right, one more thing I wanted to mention is that for this afternoon's event, we'll be using the chat function as our main source of communication. While using the chat, just make sure that you change the little blue box to everyone from host and panelists so that we can all chat together. As a reminder, we're all here to learn something and have a good time, so let's be kind and courteous to one another. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. We're excited to have you here, and we want to welcome you to Flatiron School's Software Engineering Info Session. My name is Catherine Sommerfeld. I'm the Director of Marketing Campaigns and Events here at Flatiron School. Part of my team's job is hosting free introductory workshops like today's event to give you the opportunity to meet some of our instructors, and in this case, our admissions and curriculum folks, and get a better feel of the Flatiron School experience. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guests for today. Alyssa Osterbach is here representing our admissions team, and Cody Green is here representing our software engineering team. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and Cody and I will be in there monitoring and trying to help answer anything you may have specifically about software engineering or Flatiron School. Alyssa will know a lot more about the admissions process than either of us. So go ahead and take it away, Alyssa.
Yes. Hi, guys. Welcome. Thanks so much for spending, for me, it's afternoon. It might be a little bit more late morning for some of you folks on the Pacific coast there. I saw a couple of you. But like Catherine said, my name is Alyssa. I have been here at Flatiron School for about 2 years. I have a lot of different things in my background, mainly event management and human resource management, but I also worked a lot in higher education. So I love what we do here in the tech space. Like half of my family is in tech, and this is kind of my way in. So I really enjoy working with students. We'll talk a lot about the admissions process, kind of what you're going to experience here at Flatiron School. I'll jump into the agenda here in a minute, but do want to introduce my colleague Cody. I'll let him share a little bit more about himself.
Yeah, nice to meet everybody. I'm Cody Green. I've been here for going on 5 years. It'll be 5 years, January 13th. I have worn a lot of different hats here, from instructor to campus manager, community manager, and now technical faculty manager. So seen a ton of different changes and things that students have gone through, and just love working with students and helping you all get to the finish line of changing your careers.
Love it. And you guys have all met Catherine already. She is our fearless leader that puts together these events for you guys to help you learn a bit more about Flatiron School. So let me see if I can actually get back to the agenda. I don't think that I can, but we'll just get going. Thank you guys again for spending some time with me. A little bit about us. So Flatiron School was founded back in 2012. So we've been around for over 10 years now. Wow. Can you even believe that? Like, it seems like yesterday. It was yesterday. Anyways, but we've been founded in 2012. So we're definitely not new to this space. We are one of the founding boot camps out there. We started off with software engineering, but we do include cyber security, data science, and product design now as a part of our programs. We do have some local campuses to New York City and the Denver area, which we do offer in-person options for specifically cybersecurity. Oh my gosh, it's been one of those days. Software engineering, which you guys are all interested in. And so if you are looking for that in-person option, there is that there in New York and Denver. But we've helped several thousands of grads get jobs after the program, which I'll dive a little bit deeper into as we go along. But that's really kind of why we exist, to help people like yourselves get into a new career in tech. So with our program, we do offer a couple of different learning options for students. So as I mentioned, we do have 2 campuses in New York and Denver. We do offer full-time options for those programs. Any of our full-time options, either if you do it on campus or in Denver online, they are a Monday through Friday schedule, so it will feel like a full-time job. The times for those courses vary, but most of them are around 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. There is lunch breaks, so we're not total Nazis and make you just work straight through the day. You do have a little bit of flexibility in terms of watch a lecture, have the lecture be presented to you, do some labs and assignments, break for lunch, kind of rinse, repeat in the afternoon. So it is kind of a dynamic schedule, which is nice because it does let you guys have the opportunity to actually practice the things that you're learning. So that's the full-time option. You definitely can't really be working or would be working part-time nights and weekends if you did want to take that opportunity to learn full-time. It is super immersive. It is 15 weeks long, so you kind of just hash it out for the 4 months. Or if you do have bills like the rest of us in the world and need to keep working or other time commitments and obligations, you have kiddos, people you need to get from point A to point B, there is flexible learning. So that option is really great because it's asynchronous. So you can log on whenever works best for you and your time of learning and get through the course. There is still plenty of support, even though all the lectures will be pre-recorded and loaded on your learning platform for you. We do have technical coaches available almost 24/7, not quite, basically 9 in the morning till midnight. So if you get stuck on something, there's a little guy there in your learning platform that you can click the chat and they'll get on a Zoom call with you so that you're not like perpetually stuck. You will only have time commitments where you check in with your instructors, which are about 30 minutes every other week or so, depending on how quickly you're moving through the material. So that's the only really required time. Again, that is really good for working professionals or people that do have other time commitments. Allows you the flexibility to still change your career, but also kind of simultaneously make money if you need to. So those are their two options. Now why you guys are all here. So our software engineering program really does focus on building products such as website applications as well as mobile apps. So it is what we call a full stack program. So you'll learn both front end and back end. So front end languages include, which I believe we have some of those on the next slide, but I want to point this out. There is some brief job descriptions of things that you guys can get into down the road, which I think is on another slide as well. So I won't spend too much time on that, but you'll learn, again, different languages, front end and back end, mainly HTML, CSS. You'll get into a little bit of JavaScript, and all of that mostly is covered in, there's about 60 hours of prep work that you will do going into our programs, which is great because it is pretty beginner friendly for those students that maybe have never touched a computer or been in tech before in their whole life. Like, you can do it. We start from ground zero and kind of work our way up. And then the first couple of modules, you'll dive a little bit deeper into JavaScript and a framework called React. And then the third and fourth module, you'll switch to backend, which is Python and a framework called Flask. So we really teach you start to finish. And then your fifth module is, like this slide mentions, your capstone project. So really what Flatiron School provides you is the hands-on experience that you need to go into a job interview and say, hey, look, this is what I've created. I know how to do this. And you have some stuff under your belt already leaving the program to really be able to get your foot in the door and be successful in a new career in software engineering. Again, there's those job titles I was talking about. So you can focus fully on front end, back end, be a full stack developer if you choose, but those are kind of some things that you might want to kind of screenshot in your mind as you're doing some research down the line. So again, why you guys are all here, I wanted to talk a little bit about your support team here at Flatiron School. If you do decide to pursue education with us. We really do take a 360-degree approach with our students. Starting with my team in admissions, really we're there to help make sure that not only is our program a good fit for you, but is the program the right fit for you? What mode you should be taking based on your time commitments? All of that is what we kind of hash out with you during our time as we're talking to you. If you do a 10-minute chat or you do your interview, that's really kind of everything that we cover. Once you get done working with your admissions rep and you're admitted and you decide, yep, I want to move forward with Flatiron School, we transition you to our onboarding team, which really helps you get ready for day one of class. So they'll help with things like financing. They'll help make sure you're on track to finish and complete your prep work before you start, things like that. So we really have a point person for you along the way as you complete the program. Once you get into day one of class, you'll also be interacting with your lead instructor, which will be presenting the material, or in the case of flex students, checking in with you, making sure there's nothing additionally that they need to cover with you to help you as you move throughout the program. Again, there's also those technical coaches. Even our full-time students can take advantage of those if they're doing homework on the weekends or evenings and want to connect with somebody, they can. You'll also be assigned a student advisor that's really there for anything non-technical, like how are you doing in the course? What additional support do you need? How can we help you stay on pace? What does a calendar look like for our flex students? And what deadlines can we help set for you so that we make sure that you're successful? Things like that. And then everybody's big question, right? Once you guys are done with the course, career coaching and helping students get that job after you graduate. So you'll have an assigned career coach that you'll work with. You'll also do some different workshops with that team while you're in program, which I'll talk a little bit more about down the line. But really, like I said, 360-degree success and support for our students, because that's the key, right? We exist to help students start their career in tech. And so we really want to make sure you feel supported that way. So a little bit more about kind of our team and the application process for students. As you're starting to kind of narrow down which program might be best for you, and you decide, hey, I want to look into Flatiron School, you'll submit an application. There is a written application, as well as we do have students take a 15-minute assessment. It's non-technical, so it's just critical thinking and problem solving. You can do that either before or after you interview. We do encourage you to do it before, so you can get your score for that in your admissions interview. And then once your application's in, you'll schedule a 20-minute interview with someone on my team. And like I said, we'll go through some of the details of the program, as well as make sure we've got you in the right space. And then after that, you'll get an admissions decision. Once we kind of check all those boxes off, and then you'll get the opportunity to decide, your next step. And if you choose Flatiron School and you say, yep, I want to move forward with August 7th, for example, is one of our start dates. There is a $99 deposit that you would pay. That just tells us you're ready to go for that start date. And then you'll have the rest of the time to get through all of your financing for the course. There is some enrollment documents and paperwork that we need you to submit. And then also get through all of that prep work that I mentioned, which for software engineering, if I didn't say this before, is about 50, 60 hours worth of prep that you'll get through before starting. So I definitely would give yourself at least a month, if not 2 months, before you want to start getting through this process, so you give yourself plenty of time for prep. And I know I briefly touched on finances, but I did want to go into that in a little more detail before we move on to some career coaching. For our programs, or for software engineering particularly, our full cost is $17,900. We have 3 different payment options, which you'll see the other one once I go to the next slide, but You are able to pay everything fully up front if you choose to. We have a 12-month zero interest installment plan, so students can split that total tuition over the 12 months with zero interest if they choose to. And then we do also offer 2 different loan partners that we work with, Ascent and Climb, and they do offer some different flexible payment options for our students as well. They include something like interest only or possible deferment until after the course is completed, different things, but those are going to be based off of your credit. We do also believe in diversity here at Flatiron School, so we do want to provide some different opportunities for scholarships for our students. Currently, we have 3 initiatives out right now. There's a Women in Tech scholarship. There is a Access scholarship, which is for underrepresented groups. And then also a merit scholarship. So if you didn't qualify for any of those, you could apply based on kind of past experience, how well you get through the admissions process, your interview, the assessment, all of those types of things. So those are listed on our website, so you guys can read through the qualifications more specifically. And if you're interested in applying for a scholarship, just let your admissions representative know. They should also cover that within the interview. There is a form that you'll fill out for that, but just kind of keep that in mind as you're applying. So this is the big thing, right? This is, as we're going through interviews, this is probably the biggest question I get from students is, can I get a job after we're done? And what's the percentages? So we want to share this with you. This is also disclosed in our full job report. So if you want to dive into this a little bit more, you definitely can. It breaks it down into like 30, 60, 90 days out from graduation and the percentages. So if you want to take a look at that, it's like a 40-page report that is on our website that you guys can download. But I do want to highlight a couple of really quick info for you guys. So 89% of software engineering graduates who complete a job search cycle, 25% of job offers are within 30 days. And over 89% have accepted a full-time job offer. So within the reporting period. So that's really, really great. About 81% of our software engineering graduates accept job offers within the reporting period, and 81% of them are full-time, which is great. And then this is kind of the 73,947 that should say software engineering graduates who accepted full-time salary roles within the reporting period are who disclose their compensation to us, basically. That's about their average starting salary. So some really, really good stats for you guys, so you can kind of start gauging the expectation of, can I get a job afterwards? The answer is yes. And how do we kind of help you through that process, which is what I'm going to go through next. So we have a very robust career coaching, career service process here at Flatiron School. I think that's one of the big draws to our program, because like I mentioned at the beginning, we have been around for 10 years. So not only have we perfected our curriculum and our teaching for our students, but also I think this is a big piece, our career coaching. We've had 10 years of experience in helping students look for jobs, figuring out how to leverage a boot camp and what that looks like to employers, and how to put that on my resume, and how do I leverage these new skills, all of those types of things. So I really, really think that we do this super well. So we have what's called a proven job search framework. And that little roadmap on the bottom kind of takes you through the student journey. But while you're in the program, you'll actually do 5 different workshops with our team, and they will go with you on a journey through your resume and figuring out what that looks like. You'll actually get some pointed feedback and review for that. You'll also do a LinkedIn profile review. So they'll go over that and basically everything on your online presence and everything that you need to know and do to hit the ground running when you do finish. Because after graduation, you'll meet with your career coach. They'll do another resume review with you to make sure all of that is polished. They'll talk about personal branding, things like that. And then really they're your guide as you're searching for jobs. So you'll meet with them about every week or so and make a game plan for, okay, I'm going to apply to X amount of jobs, or I have this many interviews. And what does that look like? Let me do a mock interview with you so that you know what types of questions they're going to be answering for both, not only like HR behavioral interviews, but also technical interviews, because that's a big part of software engineering is those technical interviews. So they'll give you some time to practice those. So I think that's really, really important for our students. They'll also provide you with some different like networking and job search. I don't know what you want to call it, like capabilities or networks. We can leverage our alumni network, things like that. So there's a lot of great opportunities that they provide you. And then not only does Career Services have a lot of resources, but we also have a whole team set aside for employer partnerships. And their job is to market you as a student. You'll actually get the opportunity to put your resume in our resume book that we then share with these employers. So if they are looking for a specific type of student, they will be able to see your resume and reach out. So we kind of hit our job search at all different angles, right? You as a student kind of taking control of your job search journey and doing all these deliverables that we ask of you. Your career coach to kind of guide you and help you steer as you go, because you are ultimately in charge of that car. And then our employer partnership team and the rest of our staff to help support you. So hopefully you can get that job much quicker than, searching for something kind of on your own time. So that is Career Services and career coaching. For those of you that haven't seen this probably on our website, but these are some of just the main companies that we've had grads get hired from. There's a bunch more on our LinkedIn page. If you click on the alumni tab, you could probably search any company that you're interested in, and there's probably a grad that has a job there. So take a look at that. That's really a great way to kind of continue looking at different job titles, things like that, as you guys are researching, like, A, what is this software engineering thing? And B, like, what do they do? But that's a really great place to start. And I know I keep seeing some chat questions popping in. So I definitely want to make sure that we leave some time for that. This is a great time too. If you haven't already asked, I'll go back to the ones that have already been asked, but if you haven't asked any questions, definitely pop those in the chat, and I will try to get through as many more as we can before we're out of time here. So let me go back. Looks like somebody asked, does the loan partners possibly include cost of living if you go through the full-time program? That is a great question. Yes. I think both Ascent and Climb do offer cost of living. If you,
sorry, I linked to the tuition and financing page. They both do.
Oh, yes. I was going to say it's on the website. Take a look at that. There is also payment calculators on Ascent and Climb's website as well. So if you want to kind of get an idea of what that payment schedule will look like. But yes, we do offer that for our loans. And you want to reference their websites for sure. Are there specific industries that Flatiron has the best relationships with? Maybe Cody can answer this question.
Yeah, I can definitely chime in here. I don't know if there's any one industry that we have the best relationship with, but we have students placed all over the place in any different company that you can think of, especially among, the top ones, FANG companies, big name companies, Apple, all those different kinds of things like that. We've got students who are at IBM, that are at NASA, placed all over the place. And we like to bring those folks back to talk with our current students about what that job application process was like, what it's like working there, all kind of the imposter syndrome type of questions that you might get of being a new engineer at a big name company. And then we've also got the, smaller companies marked as well, where you're going to be much more of a individual contributor, not on such a big team. So lots of stuff like that is really kind of covering all bases. And that's where our hiring partners, our folks in career coaching and employer partnerships really play a big role, is working with you to figure out what kind of company you want to work for and having those conversations with you. I think plays a big part into figuring out what you want to be a part of and helping you kind of path to that.
Yeah. I think that's the cool part about software engineering. Like probably any like product or website or like thing that you use on a regular basis, if you go to their like website and look at their career page, there probably is some sort of software engineering job that's open. So I think for students, it's not necessarily like getting a job, it's more so finding the right job and finding the right fit for you as an individual. Like Cody said, like, do you want to work for a really big company? Do you want to work for a smaller company? And as you go through the program, you'll kind of navigate that a little bit more as you learn more about like what you like and don't like about maybe software engineering. And so I really, really think that we do a good job of all of that. I know Jessica mentioned for the full-time program, is it Eastern time or Central time? So for our in-person options, it is 9 to 6 in those local time zones. So Eastern Standard Time for the New York City campus, Mountain Standard Time for the Denver campus. For our online programs, we have an East cohort that does run 9 to 6. So same as the New York campus. And then we also have a West cohort that's 9 to 6 Mountain Time. So whatever that looks like in your perspective time zone, it will adjust. But we do have a good wide variety of time commitments that we offer. Okay, here we go. Can you speak a little bit more about merit-based scholarship? How large are the awards? Are they based on standardized testing? It's a really great question, Paul. Those qualifications are listed on the website. If you click on merit scholarship, it'll list those out. It is a little bit based on your assessment score. So you definitely want to take some time with that if you haven't applied already. It's based on your written application that you submit as you go through the program, and then some other accolades. So as detailed as possible as you can be on your application. And then you'll also complete a separate scholarship form, the better. Right now, most of our scholarships are around $3,000 is what I'm seeing. So a really good percentage of your tuition that could be covered by scholarship if you want to apply. And again, you'll want to reach out to your admissions representative once you connect with somebody for your interview to talk about how you can apply for that scholarship. Let's see. Based on the prep course, what other websites, books, podcasts do you recommend to get dialed into the industry prior to jumping in head first to the boot camp? I think this is a Cody question.
Yeah. Great question. I mean, for this, I think I would start with checking out Angela Duckworth's TED Talk on grit and growth mindset. As you come into this program, it's really important to kind of understand and come into this with the knowledge that you're going into, if you're doing the live program, it's a 15-week program, you're going to be learning 5 languages, new language every couple of weeks. You're going to be cementing these things and practicing, and it's really about kind of learning the process of learning and faster recall and being able to look things up and solve problems. That's what we are as software engineers. We're problem solvers. It's not about remembering the exact syntax or having the answer right away. It's about the ability to be able to get the answer, to be able to solve a problem. So knowing that, like, cool, I've got all the tools that are at my disposal to be able to do that, and coming in comfortable with that is a great start. Past that, there are the dozens and dozens of applications that are out there that help work through things. I think Free Code Camp is a great tool to get practice with things. There are a ton of great courses on Udemy that are awesome stuff. Anything by Stephen Grinder, if you want to practice anything ahead of time with JavaScript and React. Those are all great tools and great courses to check out and practice with. Even post-graduation, once you're skilling up for the job search, there's a ton of great things on data structures and algorithms that those folks put together. But I would spend a lot of my time just kind of getting into the right mindset that, you prepare yourself to be a beginner and allow yourself to be a beginner and with that comes the mindset of, I need to be kind to myself as I enter this program and know that I'm going to have hard days, that I'm struggling, that I don't understand the concept, and be okay with that. You can't expect to come in and be able to put together a full stack application in 2 weeks. It's hard. It's hard stuff that you're going to be doing, you're going to be learning. But if you come into that with that expectation, that mindset, it helps out a ton.
Yeah, that's great. And that the prep work is a really good starting place for beginners too. And if you're finding that you're struggling on something, that'll really be kind of your guide as to like what you need to know day one. So if you are struggling a little bit with JavaScript, doing a couple maybe Udemy courses or things like that might be super helpful for you to like really grasp that going into it. It looks like there is a question about accommodations with the application. I would say for you, I wouldn't take maybe the admissions assessment right away. I would wait to speak to your admissions representative to see if we can make some accommodations, because we do fully believe in accessibility for all of our students. And if you have things like an IEP or anything like that, we definitely want to try to accommodate. I don't know the answer to that right off the top of my head, but definitely reach out. You can also email admissions@flatironschool.com. That's like our general inbox that we monitor daily. So that would be a great question for that inbox. In terms of career coaching, I think the question was, how long do I get my career coach? And that's a great question because I don't think I covered that. But after graduation, you get them for 180 days or about 6 months, or until you get a job. So hopefully it doesn't take you the full 6 months, but you do have access to them for 180 days post graduation. So as long as you're checking in with them, doing the things that you need to be doing, you'll still have access to them.
And I'll add on to that real quick as well, if it's okay, Alyssa. With career coaching as an alumni, once let's say you got your first job, and you're ready to make that next move to go get your second job for the big pay bump, because that's how this industry works. It's like you get your first job and then you negotiate for your second job, get the next pay bump. We offer alumni coaching, so you'll be able to come back, talk with a career coach, get paired again, be able to redo your resume with the new information of your place career that you had, your experience, and they'll work with you on that and help you get prepared for that. So it doesn't stop just at that 180 days. Like, we offer that. So even if you're coming back for your second or your third job, able to work with career coaching post-graduation.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Cody, too. And I think that's the cool part about our program too. A lot of people ask about like a job guarantee. Do I get a guaranteed placement, right after the course? And I honestly think sometimes those programs do students a disservice, because we are teaching you how to search for jobs and be successful within that. So not only are we teaching you the educational side of everything, but also how to be successful like in life and a job search moving forward. So I think there's a lot more skills that you gain from that experience as well. And so I really, really think that our career coaches do a really awesome job in that space, so that when you do go to get the second and third job after Flatiron School and connect back with them, hopefully it's much easier for you to kind of replicate that down the road. I know we're close to time here, or a little bit over time here, so I do want to answer these 2 or 3 questions real quick. And if anything doesn't get answered or you think of something afterwards, again, admissions@flatironschool.com is a great place to ask questions. If we're not the right team to answer those, we will definitely take care of that for you. In terms of applying for the program, we still have spots for the 821 cohort. I would definitely say apply sooner rather than later. Probably within the next week or so, if you are interested in that cohort, just to give yourself plenty of time for prep and financing and all that stuff that you have to get that box checked for. But there definitely is still time for that cohort if you are thinking about our in-person or even online options or flexible options. In terms of our outcomes report, I saw that in the Q&A section, but there is more information on that jobs report that you can download that does show you the different outcomes based on which program students take. So I definitely would dive a little bit deeper into that because, again, it's like a 40-page report. So I definitely don't have it memorized, nor do I want to misquote anything. So check that out. You can Control F and find, what you're looking for, hopefully.
It's pages 10 and 11 for outcomes.
There you go. Perfect. Thanks, Catherine. You probably put that together. Your team did.
I didn't know, but I'm well acquainted with it.
Awesome. And then one last question before we kind of log off here. I know somebody asked about completion or furthering your job or furthering education after the boot camp. So Flatiron School is not an accredited school, so we do not provide like credits for students that would like transfer into traditional education. We are a technical school, so we provide those technical skills, and you do get a certificate of completion after the course is done, and you'll graduate with a portfolio. But if you wanted to pursue a bachelor's degree, I might even consider something outside of computer science, because I do, or software engineering, because I do feel like we do prepare you really well for, life after as a software engineer. My husband actually went and did a computer science degree, and he's like, I wish there was a boot camp around when I was in school, because it would have been much faster, because he took like 7 years to graduate, like little side story, but much faster. And people that graduate from boot camps typically know a lot more than some of our 4-year grads when we're seeing and talking to our hiring partners. So I definitely think you can pursue higher education. I think it's a great space. Obviously, it's up to you kind of what that looks like for your life, but we will prepare you to get a job after. So kind of you can take it from there, I guess. But awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for spending, hopefully maybe your like lunch hour with us, or just some short time with us. We are so glad that you checked in to get to know Flatiron School a little bit more. We're here if you've got more questions. Definitely reach out to our admissions folks. They can also set up chats with you to connect and answer any more additional questions. But we're excited to maybe have you join Flatiron School and hopefully see you in an interview soon.
Thank you again, everybody who joined us today. I dropped the link to schedule a chat with our admissions team in the chat if you need it. As a reminder, you'll receive a copy of today's presentation within 3 business days after the event via email. And if you want to see any of our previous events, you can head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Again, thank you, everybody, and have a great day.